Hey everybody, I'm Christy. Welcome to the Ramsey Ranch Kitchen here in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee. Today I'm going to take you back. I'm taking me back too, to your school lunch cafeteria, to your church youth group and your potlucks. Oh yeah, we are going to make classic sloppy joes and some delicious crispy potato wedges. And this week we had a little bit of a surprise in our chicken coop, y'all. I was not banking on this happening, but one of our new hens is actually a he. So I'm going to take you to meet Johnny Cash, as Brooks has named him. He's going to get to stick around as long as he behaves. So why don't you come along with me and see how our family makes sloppy joes.
Oh, it's a simple living in the hills of Tennessee. But Brooks and Christy say that's the life for me.
First things first, with any good meal, we've got to prep our veggies. So I have half of a medium-sized onion that I'm just going to dice up into a somewhat fine dice, but you can chop them however you like them. If you like them chunkier, you can do that. I've also got 2 small green peppers, or you can just use 1 average size green pepper and that would be plenty. And I'm just going to do the same thing with those and take the core out and dice that up into nice little pieces. And I also actually have 1 lonely poblano pepper that our plant produced. I don't know what happened there, but we only got 1, and so I'm going to put that poblano in there as well. That may add just a tiny bit of heat, but usually poblanos are not very hot. Once I'm done chopping up the peppers and onions, I run my knife over them and just kind of make the chop a little bit finer, and then take my prep mat here and I'm putting these in our silicone prep bowl. I've got my garlic press here with my unpeeled clove of garlic, and we're going to go ahead and put 2 nice sized cloves of garlic in our sloppy joe. You can certainly omit the garlic or you can add more. I found that 2 nice sized cloves is plenty for our sloppy joe recipe. Next, we're going to get our potatoes ready. I have about 2 pounds of organic russet potatoes that I have washed off, and I'm going to simply quarter them and slice them into small wedges, and I'm putting them in water enough to cover it, and we're actually going to soak those until we're ready to cook them. That will release some of the starch. I've preheated our 4.5 quart stainless steel saute pan, and I'm going to spray it with some beef tallow spray. You can certainly use whatever kind of oil you would like. And I'm going to then add in 2 pounds of 80/20 ground beef. This is a decent size recipe. It serves 8 nice size sandwiches. You could certainly cut it in half if you don't need that much. But as we put our ground beef in, I'm going to get our handy dandy mix and chop and mix that meat and chop that meat into tiny bite-sized pieces. This tool is definitely one of the Pampered Chef favorites that we've had forever, and we use it for so much more than just chopped meat. Once that meat begins to brown and we've got it all chopped up how we want it, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our chopped veggies, the onions, the green pepper, and the garlic. And we'll use our mix and chop to chop that up just a little bit finer and get that incorporated all into the ground beef. After letting that simmer for a couple of minutes, we're going to add in about a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. I always want to flavor our meat, and then we're going to add in half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Using my absolute favorite mixing tool, the mix and scraper, I'm going to go ahead and stir that salt and pepper into the meat and veggie mixture. And as you can see, that is not sticking to the bottom of that stainless steel pan. Absolutely loving, loving, loving the new stainless steel line from Pampered Chef. After allowing the meat and veggies to start to cook through, we're going to give it another stir, and then we're going to get ready to add in the rest of our ingredients that are going to make our sloppy joes pop with flavor. But before we do that, we are going to drain off some of this grease, and this is a great kitchen hack, which I'm sure you've seen before. Get a couple of paper towels and use our chef tongs here to kind of absorb all of that extra grease that we don't need to have in our sloppy joe recipe. Next, I'm going to use our measure-all cup to measure out 3/4 of a cup of ketchup, and look how that just pops right out of there. No muss, no fuss. And we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, or about 4 good shakes. And I've got 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, and I will rinse that can out with a little bit of water and add that into the mix so that we don't waste anything. Now this is optional, but we like it. It adds just a little kick. I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon or a few good shakes of red pepper flakes. Using our mix and scraper, I'm going to go ahead and mix all of that in, and that's going to make our rich and delicious sloppy joe sauce. Ain't no manwich here, y'all. But speaking of manwich, let's see a word from our, well, no, not our sponsor, but let's go back to a time when things were just a little simpler.
I'll make sandwiches.
Mom, a sandwich is a sandwich.
But a manwich is more like a meal. What's a manwich?
Sloppy joes with Hunt's manwich sauce. Manwich is thick sauce with tomatoes, onions, peppers. Makes my ground beef more of a hot, hearty meal.
Here's to the team.
Here's to you. A sandwich is a sandwich, but a manwich is a meal.
Yes, a sloppy joe is a meal, and today we are actually really excited to have sloppy joes. We make them maybe twice a year here on the Ramsey Ranch. When I want one, and I'm going to make it from scratch every time. Now it's time to put the lid on and let that flavor soak through. Our potato wedges had been soaking in water for a couple of hours since I did prep them ahead, and so we've drained off that starchy water, and we're using a paper towel to kind of dry off those potato wedges because we don't want them to be wet when we put the seasoning on them. I'm just going to temporarily place them on my air fryer tray here and pat them dry so that I can put the seasonings inside our small stainless steel mixing bowl. In the small stainless steel mixing bowl, I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons of the Pampered Chef Garlic and Parmesan oil. It does actually have garlic chunks, Parmesan cheese, and spices already mixed into the oil, and I absolutely love these oils. They are so versatile. And so that is going to be our base oil for our potato wedges. I'm adding in about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Our seasonings do have salt in them, so I'm adding it in just a little bit more. And now I'm going to add in 1 full tablespoon of the black truffle and herb seasoning from Pampered Chef. That does have salt in it already. And so I'm going to use our tablespoon measuring spoon there to measure that in. And that is going to give those potato wedges an amazing umami and garlicky flavor. And one of the secret ingredients is a full tablespoon of cornstarch. The cornstarch is going to help the potato wedges take on that crispiness that we like our potato wedges to have. And that is the secret ingredient for most potato wedges, is adding in some cornstarch. And I'm just going to give this all a good mix and make sure everything is well mixed together. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and add in back our potato wedges and start coating those in the seasonings. And using the mix and scraper, I'm going to gently toss those potato wedges in the seasonings and get them coated really well so that every bite has some flavor. I've preheated the bottom oven on our deluxe air fryer and oven to the air fry setting, which is about 400 degrees. It has been preheated. I'm adding the drip tray underneath the air fryer tray, and I put them on for 15 minutes, but they did actually end up cooking for about 18 to get that crispiness level that we prefer. Our sloppy joes have been simmering away as we cook our potato wedges, and they are smelling amazing. Smell-o-vision really needs to become a thing. But as you can see, I'm using our mix and scraper to stir it up, and how rich and delicious it looks. I've turned on the vent fan up above in the microwave that is above our stove, and that is actually going to help thicken our sloppy joes. As you can see, the steam rising up into that vent, that is going to cook that liquid down so that our sloppy joes are not quite so sloppy, but that also helps intensify the flavor in the meat mixture. After cooking that mixture down with the vent fan up, our sloppy joes are just about where we want them. And as you can see, I'm running the mix and scraper through the pan to show that nothing is stuck at all, that pan is clean on the bottom, and that I'm able to easily move around the food because I have preheated our pan properly and used a little bit of that beef tallow spray. So some folks say that stainless steel is messy and it's difficult to cook with. It really isn't if you go about the correct process of preheating the pan and using a quality oil before you begin. And now it's time to make us up a big old nice sloppy joe. I've got our extra large scoop here, and it's going to use about 2 scoops of the meat mixture to make a nice size sloppy joe. Now, here's an interesting question. Brooks likes to have a slice of cheese on his sloppy joes. I prefer it without anything. So how do you like your sloppy joes? Our potato wedges are finished. It did take about 18 minutes to get them to the crispiness level that I wanted, but look at those. They look so delicious. All right, we're going to plate it up and have a taste test. Who loved Sloppy Joe Day at the school cafeteria? I did, although I think mine are probably better than the school cafeteria. For old time's sake, I have plated it up on a 5-compartment tray. Don't this look delicious? It is time for the taste test.
Whoo, y'all! We got another 93-degree day. So I'm a little sweaty because I'm cooking up something good. Even though we didn't really use an oven, we still used an air fryer. And it's just hot. The air can't keep up when it's this hot. We're headed into the 80s next week, and I'm super thankful. But for now, I want to try some sloppy joe because I'm hungry, and I want to try the potato wedges. Oh my goodness, that looks really good. So look at the potato wedges. They're definitely crispy. So let's see what they taste like. Oh my. They have so much flavor between that garlic parmesan oil that we used and the Pampered Chef truffle and herb seasoning. Delicious. Get a little bit of that umami truffle flavor mixed in with the garlic and the Parmesan cheese. It's got a nice bit of saltiness to it. Not overly salty, but just as kind of a potato wedge should be. Brooks is gonna love those. Okay, so now I'm gonna try the Sloppy Joe, and I'm not real sure how to do it neatly here because, well, it's a Sloppy Joe. Oh my goodness. I am a no cheese person on my Sloppy Joe. Brooks likes cheese. Do you do cheese or no cheese? Okay, so pardon the awkwardness here. There ain't no neat or easy way to try this on camera. Oh, it's a Sloppy Joe. What is it about a Sloppy Joe? It takes you back to your childhood. At least it takes me back to my childhood. Church youth group gathering or church party. Mama always had a big old pot of Sloppy Joes going to bring. School lunch cafeterias, they still serve them today. Although, I don't know if they're as good as this. So this has the perfect amount of that tang and sweetness. And a little bit of heat from the red pepper. If you don't want red pepper, don't use it. But it's not hot. It just adds a little zip. This is a perfect Sloppy Joe recipe in my opinion. It's not too much of a barbecue flavor, but it's that nice tomato with a little bit of sweetness. You've got the green pepper and the onion. I think this is the perfect Sloppy Joe recipe, truly. I really do. So, I hope that if you've never had a Sloppy Joe, that you will try making a Sloppy Joe because they are like a classic. And that's one thing I try to do on this channel is to make classics that have been around forever so that they don't disappear, because this is like memories. Sloppy Joe is memories. It smells like mom's house, smells like times gone by, smells like fall time. Halloween trick-or-treat night, she would make Sloppy Joe sometimes. It is just one of those things that truly brings me back, and I like to make it once or twice a year. So Sloppy Joes, where did they come from? No one actually knows for sure. But in Iowa, there was a company called Maid-Rite that made a loose meat sandwich. And they're pretty sure that that's where the origination of the Sloppy Joe came from. There is a bar in the Keys called Sloppy Joe's. There are some people saying that they served a loose meat sandwich and that's where the name came from. But nobody actually knows for sure where it came from. You've got manwich. Well, manwich is okay in a pinch. Because when you're a tired mama and the kids are going, Mom, what's for dinner? Who remembers the commercial? Yeah, I remember the commercial. You know, manwich isn't so bad, and I have been known to buy it and kind of spice it up my own self. And then back before manwich, Libby's had Sloppy Joe in a can, like with the meat and everything, and you could choose between beef and pork.
Introducing the Sloppy Joe, a brand new dance. From Libby's, the people who make Sloppy Joes. Just heat and eat. And swing to the beat. Nothing like it anywhere. Get beef or pork. What do kids think of it?
Man, it's the sloppiest.
Who knew? Isn't that crazy? I didn't even know about that until I started researching for this video. So, but they don't make it anymore. No more Sloppy Joe in a can with the meat. You can usually find your grocery store brand and manwich to make your own. out of the can, but I highly suggest just make it from scratch because it's so much better. So much better. If you don't like green peppers, don't use them. You don't have to use them, but I love them. To me, that is part of the amazing flavor of a sloppy joe. So stay tuned for some bonus footage. We're gonna go outside and meet Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
He is so far being a very sweet rooster, and I'm hoping that he will live a long life and he will protect our ladies. The thing about Johnny Cash is he's a Brahma, and he's going to probably be 30 inches tall and up to 14 pounds. So he's gonna be a big rooster. So pray with me that Johnny Cash is a nice rooster, because I would like to be able to keep him around. But in the meantime, get you in the kitchen, make you up something good, make you up a sloppy joe. This one's already been decimated. And some crispy potato wedges in your air fryer. And until next time, God bless you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support. If you haven't subscribed to the Ramsey Ranch, please do so. I would love to have you. And hit that notification bell so you're notified. I usually do about 1 video a week, sometimes 2. Right now is a busy season, so I'm really kind of just at 1. And again, I am a Pampered Chef consultant. Almost everything that you see here is a Pampered Chef product, and I'm happy to help you with it. Go ahead and send me an email at theramseyranchpc@gmail.com if you have any questions about that. I do host online parties, and I am looking for hosts. I do fundraisers, showers, and of course, if you just want to be a customer, I'd be happy to help you. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a great week, and God bless you. Have a great day. This is Cash. He is our new resident rooster. He's looking at himself there. So far, he's a really good boy and very gentle and kind. But he is a Brahma rooster, and he will grow to be pretty big. But Cash was supposed to be a girl, but Cash is a boy. And he's saying hi. He says hello. Anyway, he's a very, very beautiful boy, and we hope that he will make a great addition here to the Ramsey Ranch. Tick, tick. A certain young rooster crowed his first crow this morning. And I swear he's grown 6 inches taller in 2 days. He is a handsome, handsome fella. And he's trying to learn how to herd the flock. I don't think he knows what he's doing yet, but... Oh, goodness, there's a ruckus in the henhouse. Pretty chickies. Georgia loves watching the chickens. They are eating some herbs from the garden. They've got basil and holy basil. Little cucumbers I had in there. Thai basil. They love the fresh herbs. Cash. Cock-a-doodle-doo.